calling the New Mexico office of the Attorney General. If you are calling to report an emergency, please hang up and call 911. Your call may be monitored or recorded. Please know that we cannot give you legal advice and cannot personally represent you in a case. Please listen to all the options and select the one that best serves your needs. If you have a complaint against a business or a government agency or to report a fraud or scam, press 1. For the murdered...
Good morning. This is the Office of the Attorney General. How can I help?
Good morning. I'm having quite a tough time getting some answers on 2 complaints that I submitted. I submitted 2 complaints over a year ago. I was told that they were covered up and never investigated and never assigned to an investigator. I was told this by the head of the charities there. So because I was told this, she told me she was going to reopen the 2 cases. And then she was going to call me back or have someone call me back. The head of the charity department? I told you the head of the charity department. Her name is Lynn Southard. So she told me that both of my reports had been never investigated.
Lynn has been very busy. She's not covering things up. I'm sure there's some... You know what? I'll give her a message.
No, here's the thing. I don't want to talk to her anymore because Lynn has ignored multiple messages and emails. So she is covering it up.
It's not that she's ignored. Lynn has... You don't understand. She's the only one in the state of New Mexico handling all these. And yours isn't the only complaint. So trust me, it's not that she's ignoring.
Is my complaint the only complaint that's a year and a half old? Because there's 2 of them.
Oh, no, sir. No.
So there's more than one complaint that's a year and a half old.
These things take time. What is your name, and I can give her the message?
Well, she's ignored multiple messages. At this point, I'd like.
She's not ignoring you. I like.
Okay, so let me explain something to you. If you send someone messages, you just hung up on me, bitch. Okay.
Thank you for calling the New Mexico office of the Attorney General.
I'm just going to go ahead and record it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you should record it. You should record it. Did you record that you hung up on me?
I'm going to say this. You do not need to be yelling.
Nobody yelled at you, ma'am. Nobody yelled at you, ma'am. Nobody's condescending.
Your tone and you're talking condescending.
Nobody's condescending you. Nobody's condescending you.
Lynn is not in some conspiracy and hiding any of your cases. I tried to explain to you she's all but one person for the whole state of New Mexico. She has over 900 cases.
Okay, so now are you going to hang up on me again now that you've said that?
If your tone, if you could bring your tone down and talk respectfully, I will be more than happy to listen to you.
So you don't think that my tone is respectful or reasonable?
It's harsh.
Okay, well, I cannot lullaby you to sleep. I'm trying to have a business conversation.
No, and I'm not asking for huggers either. What I'm asking for is, don't take this out on.
I'm not taking anything out on you at all. You're not letting me speak. Okay.
Lynn's got over 900.
Okay, that's fine. Lynn also has refused to answer emails and messages, which in the business world is called ignoring calls and messages. You can give it another name all you want, but to business people who show up every day to work and take a salary, we expect others and ourselves to follow a certain code of conduct, which means answering the calls that you get on your voicemail, replying to the emails that you get. So since Lynn has excluded herself from normal conduct and feels that she's above that and you agree, I'd like to speak with your supervisor because you think it's normal for her to not answer and to not...
We don't share the same.
Excuse me?
We don't have the same one.
Her supervisor is Glenn Hassler, who also does not return any calls or emails. So I've asked to speak with your supervisor.
Maybe I'm wondering, if your tone or your approach is, it's very disheartening to hear.
Well, that's your subjective position. That's your subjective opinion, and it doesn't.
If you come out in a different manner, you would get a better response.
I asked for your supervisor. I don't need you to coach me on how to be an adult, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need your coaching on how to be an adult. I need your supervisor. I need your supervisor. I'm asking for your supervisor.
To me, I don't need to.
I'm asking for your supervisor. It's an easy request.
Calm down.
I'm totally calm. Why are you talking over me?
To help you, but
who's your supervisor?
If you're going to talk this way,
there's no this way. There's no this way. Who's your supervisor? Who is your supervisor? Who's your supervisor? Who is your supervisor?
You can call God, okay?
Thank you for calling the New Mexico office of the... Good morning. Thank you for calling New Mexico Attorney General's office. How can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to speak to the supervisor of the receptionist who just told me her supervisor was God and that I should call God. She also told me that my tone was unacceptable, which of course it is not.
I'm so sorry that happened. I'm not able to transfer the call, but I would be happy to get your information, sir, and have someone give you a call back.
Can you tell me the name of the supervisor of your receptionist staff there, please? The woman refused to provide it. She told me her supervisor was God, and she hung the phone up on me for the second consecutive time in a row.
Well, I'm not sure who you spoke to, so what it is when you call our system, it gets, so when you call our phone number, it gets routed to the Albuquerque, Las Cruces, and Santa Fe location, so I wouldn't know who's covering and who's at, because any of us could pick up the phone.
Do you all have one supervisor?
Do we have one supervisor? Yes.
Who is the one supervisor, please?
Well, we have, our supervisor is Glenn.
Oh, Glenn Hassler's your supervisor?
Yes.
And he's the same supervisor of the director of charities, Lynn Southard?
Yes.
Well, this receptionist told me that she did not have the same supervisor as Lynn. Is that at all possible, or that was a lie?
Sir, I don't know what. I'm going to get your information down, and then I'm going to have them give you a call back and have them address this.
Well, Glenn doesn't answer the phone or return calls.
What's your first and last name, sir?
Glenn doesn't answer the phone or return calls. Is this a message for Glenn?
Yes. Can I get your first name, please?
My phone number is... Now, Glenn has not answered my calls or my emails for about 2 weeks now. So I don't feel comfortable with you giving him a message that's not going to be answered again. Who is Glenn's supervisor?
I don't know that. I don't know who he reports to. I'm going to personally give him this message. I do apologize, sir, that I'm so sorry that you were treated that way. I will make sure that...
Please let Glenn know that if I don't hear a call back from him by lunchtime, I will be putting on the internet and tagging the Attorney General's office the conversations that I had this morning, where first she hung up with me, and then she told me her supervisor was God. The entire time she reprimanded me about my tone, which, as I've spoken with you this morning, is not any different than my calls with her 5 seconds before I dialed the phone and spoke with you. So please let Glenn know that I absolutely will be publishing this on the internet today if I don't hear back from him, so that everyone can hear what kind of nonsense goes on at the Attorney General's office, and then we all can complain and compliment and comment about the hijinks that goes on, because I think the conversation needs to be public at this point, unless Glenn wants to take care of matters himself in his own house and clean up his own garbage over there, because this is completely unacceptable for somebody to speak that way at 8 in the morning during business hours at a business office where taxpayers are paying her salary. She literally hung up on me twice in a row and told me my tone was unacceptable to speak to her. And she told me her supervisor's name was God. I can talk to God. And then she hung up on me. That will be public if Glenn doesn't call me back before lunchtime. He has until 12 o'clock. And I will put his name in it. And I will put the Attorney General's name in it. I will tag the Attorney General's social media, and I will have this shit all over the internet by lunchtime. While they're eating lunch, they can know that this is on the internet. So he has until 12 o'clock. I'm tired of waiting for his calls and emails for 2 weeks already.
I certainly appreciate you calling and letting me know. I will forward your message.
Thank you. You've been incredibly professional. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.